It is very nice to greet you again. In today's video we will talk about the following. Here's how you can tell if your ex still loves you. There are many different signs you can look for to find out if your ex still loves you. What I mean is that since we're dealing with a human being, things can be unpredictable. 2 things you need to do first to find out if your ex still loves you. First, I want you to take some time and figure out if you have a legitimate reason for wanting your ex back. As a general rule, couples who get back together after a breakup usually have very good reasons for doing so. Oh, and I think it's important to mention that couples who successfully get back together for legitimate reasons last longer. Second, I need you to adopt a no-contact rule. Experts agree that to be in a good position to get your ex back you need to be apart for at least a month. There will be a constant temptation to call, email, or text them. Don't do it. Signs your ex-boyfriend still likes you. Okay. No matter who broke up with whom, how bad the breakup was, or how much you think he hates you, I can assure you of one thing. Your ex is thinking about you. Did you know that 81% of people still think about their exes way too much? What's worse is that almost 90% of Facebook users still look up their ex. So, I think it's safe to assume that you care more about your ex than you think. The real question is he thinking positive or negative things about you? At least that's what you're asking yourself. Obviously, you want your ex to think very positive thoughts when it comes to you, as that will bring him back. That being said, even if your ex thinks you're the Antichrist, there are certain things you can do to change his mind. Plus, right after a breakup, both parties are mad at each other, so there's not a lot of positive karma, right? That's where the no-contact rule comes into play. I can guarantee that your ex won't have any positive loving thoughts about you a few days after your breakup, especially if you broke up with him or her. By implementing a no-contact rule, you're doing 2 things. First, you're giving your ex and you time to cool down and recover. Second, he or she will wonder why you haven't tried calling or texting him or her to see what he or she does. Which brings us to our first sign. 1. If he or she calls, texts, or letters you, we already know that he or she is thinking about you, but if he or she actually takes the time to text or call you, then you should feel great because he or she is definitely showing interest. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that all your problems are over and you can run back into his or her arms. Just because he or she texted you doesn't mean that he or she wants you back, but it's definitely a sign that points in the right direction. If you stick to the rule, no contact rule, it will greatly increase your chances of your ex contacting you in some way. Sign 2. Does he check up on you? While you are supposed to avoid your ex both physically and mentally for 30 days, there are certain instances when it is impossible to do so. If you notice that he keeps showing up at places you frequent, then this is a definite sign that he still has feelings for you. Now, I think it is important to mention that sometimes it can just be a coincidence that he is in the same place as you. However, I would say that if you notice that he is around at least 3 times, then that is a definite pattern. Sign 3. Do you get a reaction from him? I know how relationships work and I know that most won't be able to last 30 days. So, in case you break the rule, one of the best ways to determine if he still has those deep feelings for you is to watch how he reacts when he sees you. This can be a little tricky to determine, but I'll give you a few things to look out for. Does his face light up? Does he sneak glances at you when he thinks you're not looking? If he talks really fast, that's also a good sign. He stares into your eyes for a long period of time is also a good sign. Sign 4. Does he keep in touch with your friends and family? If your ex is possibly interested in getting back together, he'll keep in touch with your friends or family. This sign rings especially true if you're deep into no contact. If you don't answer your phone, he'll check in with friends or family to see how you're doing. If you want your ex back in your life, it's a very good sign. Of course, there are some cases where your ex will keep in touch with your family just to annoy you, but you can usually tell in those cases. Sign 5. He touches you. If you see your ex and he is maintaining some kind of physical contact like touching your arm, hand, knee, leg, it's a very good sign. So, your ex showed some of the above signs, huh? Well, now you have a decision to make. Do you want to try to get back in the relationship or do you want to move on? You are an essential part of what we do on this channel. For this reason, we keep an eye on what you need, and if it is your desire to recover your ex correctly and effectively, you must click on the link below.